Good afternoon, dear students.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon. So, dear students, today at our lesson we will speak about the intonation of apposition. So, have you ever heard about apposition? So now I will give some examples, then you will easily guess what is apposition, and then we will speak about its intonation, as we are having phonetics of the English language, so that is why we should speak about intonation. Yeah. So in this semester, mainly we are talking about intonation in different types of sentences. But in our first semester, we spoke about speech sounds, yeah, about vowel sounds, about consonant sounds, and about the classification of them, principles of classification. But this semester, we mainly talked about the intonation in different types of sentences. So if I'm not mistaken, at our last lesson, we spoke about the intonation of enumeration.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Enumeration. Yeah, we spoke about finished and unfinished enumeration. And this time we will speak about the intonation of apposition. For example, it is distinguished two types of them. The first type, my example to the first type, that's my daughter, the teacher. That's my daughter, the teacher. And the second example is, that's my daughter, the English teacher. And I will give another example. That's my son, the lawyer. That's my son, the doctor. That's my son, the local doctor. So what kind of difference can you see between these two examples? I will repeat them once more for you. Please do listen to do pay attention to the intonation in them. That's my son. That's my son, the doctor. That's my son, the doctor. This is the first example. That's my son, the local doctor. What difference can you see between the intonation of these two types of sentences?
May
I? So who wants to talk? Karason, yeah? Okay.
Yes, in the first sentence, you are talking about the doctor, and you are introducing your son to him, I guess.
Thank you for your information. Thank you for your opinion. But here we should mainly talk about the intonation. Yeah, intonation. So that is why I asked you to pay attention to the difference between the intonation of these two sentences. I will repeat it once more for you. That's my son, the doctor. That's my son, the local doctor. That's my son, the doctor.
That's my falling rise.
The local doctor.
Falling rise. The first sentence has falling rise intonation, and the second
so fall rise. Do you know fall rise? What kind of intonation is it? Fall rise, it should first fall, then it should rise again. This is fall rise. Can you see such kind of intonation here? That's my son, the doctor.
No, rise.
That's my son, the
rise
doctor.
falling. Rising fall.
Rise falling. Rise fall? Are you sure? Any
Rising.
Any idea?
Only rising.
That's my son, the doctor. That's
only
my
rising.
Only rising.
Only rising.
So where can you see rising intonation here, dear students?
Rise falling.
Who told
That's my son.
Who told falling intonation? Whose opinion is it? Rahima. Rahima, I do agree with you because there is no any rising intonation. There is only falling intonation, yeah? It is a low fall here. That's my son, the doctor. That's my son, the doctor. And how many intonation group can you see here? Can you see any separate non-final intonation group or just one final intonation group? Tell me about this one, please. About the first example of mine. That's my doctor. That's my son, the doctor. That's my son, the doctor. How many intonation group exist in this sentence, dear students?
Two.
Are you sure?
One.
I will
Only
repeat it
one.
once more. I will repeat it once more. That's my son, the doctor. Have I made any
Only
pause?
one.
Have I made any pause or not?
No.
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 No. Yes, I do agree with you. No any pause. No any pause. It means there is no any separate non-final intonation group. It means it exists only one final intonation here. That's that's my son, the doctor. That's my daughter, the teacher. Just one final intonation group. Okay? Do try to remember, please, because there is a question in your final tests about it. So that is why do pay attention, please, to every sentence of mine. Okay? This is the first type. Yeah. Here, that's my son, the doctor. So my son here is a noun, and doctor. So with the help of this word, we are giving some information. Yeah, we are giving some information about this noun. But anyhow, the meaning of the noun is limited. Yeah, the meaning of the noun is limited. But anyway, we are giving some information about the noun, about my son. Yeah. That's my son, the doctor. So here, now I will share with you. It will be easier for us with the help of examples. Sorry. This one. Intonation of apposition, yeah? Apposition. We are talking about this one. This one. Pay attention, dear students. That's my son, the lawyer. That's my son, the lawyer. So pay attention to this stress mark. This is the stress mark over low falling intonation. Yeah, can you remember? This is. Can you see? Is it visible to everybody or not? Visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, visible.
That's my son, the lawyer. That's my son, the lawyer. Yeah. So this is lawyer is the last stressed syllable. It means this is the nucleus of this intonation group, and on which the direction of an intonation can be changed. Yeah. Here, lawyer. So we put the stress mark over low falling intonation. So it means that it falls. Yeah, it falls here. That's my son, the lawyer. That's my son, the lawyer. And pay attention to the third example here. That's my son, the local doctor. That's my son, the local doctor. If you have noticed, here I made a little pause, yeah? Here, after son. So pay attention to this straight vertical line. Straight vertical line. This is a symbol of a syntagm. Yeah? This is a symbol of a syntagm. It means it forms a non-final separate intonation group here after son. Yeah, that's my son, the local doctor. That's my son, the doctor. Here, there is no any. For example, that's my son, the doctor. There is no any additional information about the noun. Yeah. There is no any additional information about the noun. In the example, that's my son, the doctor. But in this one, that's my son, the local doctor. So we are talking, we are identifying this one, this noun, son, yeah? Doctor is an information about this noun, but here, in addition to the doctor, we are giving one more additional information about this noun, yeah? Local, yeah? Local doctor. It means when there is an additional information about the noun here, so in sentences where it includes apposition, it forms non-final separate intonation group, and it is stressed and it is pronounced with the low falling nuclear tone here. That's my son, the local doctor. That's my son, the local doctor. As you can see, low fall plus low fall here. Yeah, but in the first example, pay attention. That's my son, the lawyer. That's my son, the lawyer. That's my son, the doctor. Here, there is only one final intonation group. Yeah? One final intonation group, low fall here only, because there is no any additional information about the noun. The meaning of the noun is limited here. Pay attention to this one. If you want, you may give some examples of your own, of such kind, because it will be easier for you to check whether you made this knowledge of your own or not. Yeah, if you try to give examples of yours. Rahima, maybe you will try.
I work at school, at English school.
Okay, thank you. And to pay attention to the next example, then Mr. Neville, the laborer, asked several questions. Then Mr. Neville, the laborer, asked several questions. So here, how many separate intonation group here? Can you see? How many?
Two.
One,
two separation groups.
three. One, two, three. So then Mr. Neville, the Neville is pronounced with the low rising nuclear tone. We are talking about this noun, yeah, about this noun, about Neville. In fact, we are identifying, we are giving additional information here about this noun, labor, yeah. So then Mr. Neville, the laborer, asked several questions, yeah. For example, then Mrs. Atajanova, the English teacher, explained to us the rule of intonation in apposition. Yeah, for example, like this. Keyin esa Malohat, ingliz tilida Malohat opa, ingliz tili domlamiz bizga izohli gapni ohangida tushuntirdi. Biz mana bu yerda, demak, keyin esa Malohat opa, biz mana shu Malohat opani ohangini we are identifying. We are talking about the intonation of this noun, dear students. Yeah. Then Mr. Neville, the laborer, asked several questions. So that's my son, the local doctor. So pay attention to the rule in the Russian language here. Предложение, ограничивающее значение существительного, тесно связано with what? С ним и не выделяется. Pay attention, не выделяется в отдельную синтагму. So it means the first example, yeah? So apposition, which limits the meaning of the noun and closely connected with it, and doesn't make any separate intonation group. Doesn't make any separate intonation group. Syntagm. For example, that's my daughter, the teacher. That's my daughter, the teacher. But here, приложение, выступающее в качестве дополнительной информации в форме ремарки, обычно выделяется в отдельную синтагму. Ударное и произносится тем же тоном, что и определяемое слово, но на более низком уровне. For example, I will give the rule in the English language. Apposition, yeah, which performs in the form of which performs as an additional information in the form of remarks, usually forms a separate intonation group, stressed and pronounced with one and same intonation group. With the attributive word here, but with lower intonation. With lower intonation. For example, Balzac, the famous French writer, was a man of great talent. Balzac, the famous French writer, one separate intonation group here. Balzac, the famous French writer, was a man of great talent. That's my son, the local doctor. So we will continue giving examples. Here it's given exercise 1 here. Now we will read the examples. So read the following sentences. Pay attention to the intonation of apposition. Mark Twain, the famous American writer, was traveling in France. We are talking about Mark Twain. We are talking about this noun. And the famous American writer is an additional information about this noun. Yeah? And that is why here it is pronounced with the First of all, it is stressed and it forms separate intonation group here, and it is pronounced with the low rising nuclear tone. And the second part was traveling in France, so this is low form. The part of Great Britain lying on the south of the Scottish border and the east of Wales is England. So the first part is pronounced with a low rise. Yeah, the second part is pronounced with a low falling intonation. All my family, except for me, is involved in farming. All my family, except for me. Yeah, all my family, except for me, is involved in farming. So the first part is pronounced with the low rising nuclear tone. Robert Burns, Scotland's bard and a Welsh poet, was born in 1759. So, Charos, please try to read this example once more. Number 4.
Number 4, okay. Robert Burns, Scotland's Barn and the World's Poem, was born in 1758.
Okay,
59.
thank you. And now repeat it once more, please, paying attention to the intonation. Let us clarify the intonation in this apposition, please.
Can I?
Okay, yes.
Robert Burns, Scotland's bard and the world's poet, was born in 1759.
So who else wants to read this one and same example? Who else?
Can I? Robert Burns, Scotland's bard and the world's poet, was born in 1759.
Okay, thank you. Robert Burns, Scotland's bard and a Welsh poet. So poet, so here it rises. It rises. Then the second part should fall. Robert Burns, Scotland's bard and the Welsh poet, was born in 1759. So continue, please. The next one. Any volunteer to read the next example?
Right.
Please.
My brother-in-law, Peter Smith, is a teacher.
My brother-in-law, Peter Smith, is a teacher. Next one, thank you. You are right enough in the intonation of this sentence, in this apposition. The next one, next volunteer to read the next example.
My teacher. I'm speaking of Caracas, the capital of Venezuela.
I'm speaking of Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. Yeah? The capital of Venezuela.
Yes.
Okay, I'm speaking of Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. Right you are in the intonation of it. And the next example, please. We have just analyzed several times this example. Please. Who will read? Number 7.
That's my son, the local doctor.
That's my son, the local doctor. That's my son, the local doctor. So right you are. The next one, please. Rahima.
Is that your host, the famous steel magnet?
So is that your host, the famous steel magnet? Pay attention. This is an interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence is it? And what kind of question is it? So questions which begin with any kind of auxiliary verbs or modal verbs is called general questions, and the general questions are usually pronounced with the low rising nuclear tone, you know. Is that your host, the famous steel magnet? Yeah? Is that your host, the famous steel magnet? Is that your host, the famous steel magnet? So here low rise plus low rise here. Okay, the next one, please. Try to be more active, please, dear students. Now we are about to finish.
I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Right you are. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. The next one. Here, Ohio is information, yeah, information about Dayton. But anyway, the meaning of Dayton is nothing here. There is no any other additional information about it. Just Ohio. Okay. The next one, please. Switch off your microphones. Please. Lola. Lola. So please switch off your microphone or please read the example. Number 11.
Блин.
So, Lola. Okay, dear students, so now we will continue. We will continue. The next one. The last example.
Слишком слышно было там.
Lola, you are making very so much noise here. Switch off your microphone, please. If I'm not mistaken, this is Lola or Rahima. Rahima, please read the next example. Then we will continue your. You will act your role plays maybe. If you haven't got then any questions about the intonation of apposition. Well,
Another Englishman, John Bellius, the author of Little Guidebook of Moscow, wrote, who would not wish to visit the old capital Moscow with Kremlin and old golden domes? Who would not wish to visit the old capital Moscow with its Kremlin and gold domes?
Okay, thank you. And dear students, this is the intonation of apposition then. Intonation of apposition. So have you got any questions to me about the intonation of apposition? Is it understandable enough or not?
Yes.
Yes, understandable.
Understandable.
Okay, if it is understandable, dear students, now, so what was your home task for this time? Now let me ask your, let me check your home tasks. Have you prepared any sketches? Would you like to act out any sketches?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's your turn then. If you want, you may act out your sketches. Please, we will listen to your sketches, and the other students, please do pay attention to the intonation in their examples, okay? In their speech, because we should analyze, we should give feedback. Charaswan?
We have one sketch. It's in the cafe, and I'm George.
I'm Dorsey.
Okay, so you may stop then, because we have left less time. So that is why, please.
Yes, one minute. I'm starting. I'm Jeffrey, and we are sitting with my wife Dorothy in the cafe in room. Well, here we are in room. The sun is shining, and we haven't got a care in the world.
Yes, room is so beautiful.
And it's such a beautiful day.
This square looks lovely in the sunshine.
And it's so nice sitting here with you. No trains to catch.
No telephones to answer.
No boring business people to talk to. You know, this is the first holiday we've had for 5 years since we were married.
And it's our first visit to room too. It's like a second honeymoon.
Yes, and now we're alone together with all the time in the world.
Yes.
Just you and me and romantic room.
Yes. Then who comes?
Lola starts. Lola.
Okay, what is Lola? Ага.
Сейчас я не слышно, она сейчас скажет.
Hello, excuse me. Do you speak English?
Yes.
Well, may I ask here?
Yes.
Thank you. Just a minute. It's Geoffrey. Geoffrey Wilton.
Good
Wow,
God.
Geoffrey,
Teresa
darling,
Pilkington?
how lovely to see you. It has been so long since we.
Teresa, this is my wife, Dorothy.
Your wife. Sorry, delighted to meet you.
Ага.
So you know Jeffrey, do you?
Oh yes, Geoffrey, and I, old friends. Oh, aren't we, Geoffrey?
No, yes. What are you doing in room, Teresa?
Oh,
You are old friends.
Oh yes, yes. Well, I've known Geoffrey for years and years since we were both young and innocent.
Goodness me, look at that remarkable statue.
Jeffrey, tell me, Miss Pilkington, what exactly do you mean by young and innocent?
Hello.
Ага.
Yes, we met in kindergarten.
Well, darling, before Geoffrey met me, he was just an innocent man.
Yes, we met in kindergarten.
Continue, please. Go on, go on, go on.
Well, what exactly do you mean?
Poor
Good
Geoffrey.
Lord, look
Before
at
he
the
met me, his life
magnificent
was so
telephone
boring.
box.
He was a student at the awful college in the mountains, and he hated every minute of it.
But Jeffrey, you told me you loved that college in the mountains.
Dorothy, I think we better go. The Colosseum closes at 6 o'clock, you know.
Oh, no, in the mountains.
Sit down, Jeffrey. It's only 11:30.
Oh, yes, I remember that day so well. That day that we met, the mountains were so beautiful, the sky was so blue.
And Jeffrey was so green, I suppose.
Green? What do you mean?
Green, young and innocent, just the way you like them, I suppose.
Well, really. Excuse me. Goodbye, Geoffrey. Delighted to have met you, Mr. Burton.
Teresa, oh dear.
So, before you met her, you were just an innocent boy. You told me I was the first woman in your life, and I believed you. I've been so honest with you.
Yes, Dorothy, I've told you everything. Yes, Dorothy, I know. I'm the first man in your life.
The first and only man, Jeffrey.
Oh, waiter, I will have a martini, please.
Certainly, sir. And for you, madam? Oh, Dorothy.
Giovanni?
Dorothy.
Giovanni?
Another character.
Dorothy, it's wonderful to see you again.